Hey y'all, it is time to do the eyeshadow palette tag. If you're excited, keep on watching. So I have seen several of you do this tag. I want to hop on it because I love talking about eyeshadow. I love using eyeshadow. I love holding my eyeshadow palettes. I believe this palette tag started from Betty Jean, and then I saw Makeup Lens do it, and then I just recently saw Alejandra Lisette do it. So I will link everybody in the description box so you can go follow them, support them, and watch their videos as well. Starting off with question number 1, which says, what is your all-time favorite palette? Now, this might come as a surprise, this might come as a spoiler because I did put this at a very high ranking spot number 1 in one of my ranking videos, so that's a spoiler, and it's going to be a spoiler here, so I'm not sure what video that will be in, but it'll be linked down below. Goes to my Udens Eye Solmani 2 palette. This palette, oh, I absolutely love. I am so impressed with Udens Eye quality. This is my first palette from them, first time trying from them, and I am so impressed that I want to try more from them just to see if their matte and shimmer quality is the same across all palettes, or if this is just a one-off and I just got really lucky and I was able to have this palette in my collection. But this palette offers a range of possibilities. You can go pastel, you can go warm tone, you can go a little bit of warmer with the purples, you can go warm with the blues, you can do an all blue shimmer, you can do an all blue look, an all purple, you can deepen it further with the black and make it smoky, or do this as liner. You can do the blue, deepen it as liner or anything, or you can, you just have such a gradient of shades. You have enough mattes, enough shimmers to where it balances everything out. I just absolutely have just so much excitement using this palette. And question number 2 says, what is my newest favorite palette? And if y'all know, I have talked highly about this in several videos. It is one that I picked up last year during Black Friday. And this year during Black Friday, I plan on picking up more from this brand because I am just that impressed. And it goes to my Singe Beauty from Angelica Nyqvist. This is the Paisley Hoop palette. I have spoken so many good things about this. I've raved about it and raved about it that at this point, you might be sick of it. But I am so impressed. For someone who was very much into colorful eyeshadow for years in a row, to suddenly switch over to neutrals and browns and just very basic, everyday sort of shades, that I picked up this palette, but I do not regret it. Hear me out, I do not regret it. The mattes in here are spectacular. They are soft, they have pigment, you can build them up, they're not entirely aggressive or very pigmented. You know, when you pick it up and apply it on the eyelids, you can slowly build it up, which I love that about it. These shimmers in here are so soft in here. They're not very squishy, or they're gonna, slide around, or they're not too easy to pick up, they're not too hard to pick up. They're just in that middle ground where it's you can work with them, you can apply them, they will show up. You do not need glitter glue, but you can also add glitter glue if you want to. There's some fun shifts in here, you can go in so many different directions, and this is just a palette that you had to pry in my cold, dead hands. Question 3 says, what is a palette I keep for memories? This palette is one that my sister gifted to me. I did not have colorful eyeshadows in my collection. I did not have neons, rainbows. I was just, I think, starting to get into that, or be interested in that. And this palette is nothing wrong with it. It's the Pinky Rose Bright Lights palette. But this palette was my first, rainbow, colorful eyeshadow palette that I was missing in my collection. My sister gifted it to me, so it has that sentimental special value that I will never get rid of because of that. I still use this palette, not as often as I would like, but it does give you some really fun, very vibrant looks, that's for sure. They are very wow, bam, thank you ma'am, in your face. Some of these in here, it's hard to create a look off of. It's not a very entirely cohesive palette because you do not have a lot of darker shades to deepen things with, or a lot of lighter shades to blend with. You're basically only blending with maybe this brulee shade, but even then it's not as great. This has 3 glitters in here as well, which I do not really dabble into. But yeah, this palette is good. There's nothing wrong with it. Question 4 says, what is an underrated palette? For me, I think an underrated palette, or just an underrated brand, I don't know if it's entirely underrated because a lot of people know of Sigma, but in my opinion, I think Sigma is underrated. I really enjoy their formula. This is the Enchanted Mini. I do have their Disney Little Mermaid palette as well, which, spoiler alert, will be featured later on in this video. But I think Sigma is underrated because their formula is so easy to work with. Their shimmers show up so pretty. This one is so gorgeous. This one right here called Budding. It's a more terracotta, reddish, orangey sort of shade. And it has a little bit of hint of sparkles in it. It's just beautiful. This one here is a fun duochrome. It's like a blue, brown, with a little bit of purple and blue specks. It is so fun. Should I say duochrome? Maybe multichrome? I don't know. But yeah, they're mattes. They blend so easily. They, you do gotta build them up, but I don't mind that just because I would rather build something up than ruin my whole entire eye look with a very powerful color that I was just trying to gradually get into. But I have no complaints about this. Number 5 says, what is a palette that is not a favorite but I can't get rid of? Immediately, I thought of this one. This is the BYS Peach palette. BYS is an Australian brand. I was first discovered by this from my sister because she picked this up at Ross one time. But she gifted me this palette because I wanted the peach palette that she had. Of course, I had to follow in her footsteps. But it's just, this palette, it's beautiful. It's a fun bunch of peach shades with some browns and some pinks and fun pop of orange, and it's definitely got a nice array. My only gripe with this is that it is shimmer heavy. Y'all know my gripe with shimmer heavy palettes. Every single time I pull this out, I'm stumped because it can only either be shimmer heavy or one and done or two and done, and it's just I don't know, but I can't get rid of it just because another thing that I tie back to my sister, and I don't want to get rid of it because it's still good, but using it as a standalone is where I struggle with that. Question number 6 says a favorite collab. Now I took this as it could either be a collab with a creator or with like a movie or a franchise or what have you. And that one was an easy one. As soon as I thought of this one and I looked at my collection, I said, yep, you are that favorite because of how much I freaking love this movie. If you know me, I've said this a million times and I will still say it till I'm blue in the face. My favorite movie, Christmas movie, is Polar Express. When Nomad announced this, I screamed. I showed everybody in my family, and I said, I have to have this. I have to have this. And I got it for a gift. So, Nomad, when they did Polar Express, I was like, oh my gosh. Absolutely love. Artwork is 100 out of 100. They captured the movie in this cover art perfectly. The outer packaging I still kept, and it's up here on my shelf. They perfected this so just to a perfect T. They got all of the shades perfect. They captured the movie. They captured the essence. They captured the feeling. Everything was just captured in this palette, and I love this palette. This is my favorite collab. This will always be my favorite palette. Number 7 says my favorite palette. This one says favorite palette of 2024. I'm adjusting it to say 2025 because of the year I'm doing it in. Now, I did come back into YouTube and Instagram and doing makeup on the late part of 2025. The last 3 or 4 months of it. There is a palette that I picked up, and when I tried it, I immediately was blown away because this was a brand, one, I had terrible experience with prior. Crap quality, previously experience with them. So when I picked this up, this is the Makeup Revolution or Revolution Beauty, Revolution, however you want to call them. I still call them Makeup Revolution because that is what I know them as. This is their true icon palette, yeah. And I'm sorry for the reflection of the packaging because it's very almost mirror-esque, but this is their dupe of the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions 2? 1 or 2, one of those. Makeup Revolution, I've tried several palettes from. I think I've tried 4 or 5 of them, and I've had mostly misses with them. So I was very hesitant on this one, but when I picked it up and everybody online was saying it is so good, I was like, okay, if everyone is saying it is so good, I've not heard a negative review, it must be good. And it is. This palette is just so freaking easy to work with. It is pigmented, blends, it is soft. The shimmers on here are just, I was impressed, and this is probably my favorite palette of last year. Not that don't think it came out in 2025, but I certainly tried it in 25. But question number 8 says a palette that I did not expect to love. This one I bought specifically for a full face of Chamase. This is not Chamase brand, but it is sold on their website. It is the Amuse, I'm calling this a 10-pan palette. It's just basically an eyeshadow palette. This one, whenever I did my full face of Chamase, I included it in here, and I was like, wow, these are actually pretty good quality. Mattes were blending, they showed up, the shimmers were fine. I mean, they're not duochrome, multi-chrome levels or sparkly or anything like that. They're just very basic, not really metallic, but they're just basic shimmer formula. You apply on the eyes, you get it, what you get, and you can go about your day. They're not going to be very vibrant in your face. They're very more subdued, very much on the neutral side. You know, definitely have some options in here, but for some reason, I have an attachment to this palette. I love this. For whatever reason, I just do. So question number 9 says, what is a palette that sparks joy? Now there's several of these, but I cannot put them all into one question. I do have to even out the playing field. So this one palette though definitely sparks joy when I bought it secondhand, and I created, I think, 6 looks off of it. I know I have a video on it, which I will link it in the description box. Is the BH Cosmetics Naughty palette. This is their limited edition. I want to say from 2020. This one sparks joy because of how many shades there are in this palette, and all of my 6 looks. Well, 2 of them looked kind of similar, but they were all very different from each other. Like, some of the looks I was impressed with. I was like, I made that with this palette. Like, I made those combinations. Like, I was very impressed with myself. And this one, I mean, I really enjoy because you have neutrals, you have like very easy wearable browns, and then you have some greens, you have warm tones to create just like a very easy, or like sparked cider, very much warm tone orange eye look. You can definitely deepen it with, you know, this shade, the black. Then you have like a few pinks, so you can very much go like all different directions with this. You pretty much have almost every color you need in here, or could need or want. There is 2 glitter shades in here that I don't really dabble too into anymore. But the quality of BH, so very much missed. Question number 10 says, what is your most recent palette? And I did mention this earlier in this video. I did mention it in my no buy update for 2026, which anything mentioned will be in the description box. It goes to my Sigma and Little Mermaid palette. This one I bought off of Rachel from Shimmers in Silver. Again, hi Rachel. If you're watching, that is. But this palette I had to have because I've always been compared to Ariel with my brown red hair. And then the shimmers, the duochrome, multichromes in here. How can you not just be so enticed by them? I have not used this except for one shade here, and that one shade impressed me that I'm like, I need to dig in this very, very soon. I do want to create 4 looks off of this, as with any new palette I get. I try and create 4 looks, but just the array of these shades, like, it's such a beauty, and it just, oh, it's absolutely like adorable packaging, and what's inside is just chef's kiss. Question number 11, it says, what is the first palette I worn in 2025? Okay, I have to change that to 2026. Now, this one is very hazy because I bought quite a few palettes over the course of the past couple of months. So I'm not sure in what order I tried them all in or what I was doing then, but I looked back into my notes, and according to my notes, around January 3rd, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I'm pretty sure I was using trying out the Glamlight and Michaela palette. Don't know why I had to have this palette, but I did. I talked about it many times. I'm not going to reiterate myself, but I'm pretty sure this is the first palette I used because I was trying to create 4 looks. I was trying to No Pan Left Behind list. I was just trying to get a feel of Glamlight formula again, because I do have one other palette from them. Fun, colorful palette. Has some nice color to it. Has some nice neutrals to it. I still don't have a set opinion on this, so if you're looking for that, I don't have it yet. But I am very much trying to still get to know this palette. But I did enjoy it. I do like the colors, and I'm happy that I have this in my collection. Question number 12 says, choose a collab palette. Now, I'm not sure if meaning like a collab palette that you want, or choosing a palette or a brand that you'd like to collab with. So I just took this as a palette in my collection that collabed with someone else or something else, and that is the ColourPop and Kathleen Light's Dream Street palette. This is, I think, the very first collab she did with ColourPop back in the day, and yes, I still have it. Yeah, last time I used it, which was years ago, it still performs pretty good. Have not tried it lately, but I don't know why. I still really like this color story. I still think that it is fun. It is probably nothing exciting nowadays because we are coming out with neons and duochromes and multichromes and sparklies and this and that. But sometimes you just need that good old boring basic palette that does what it does. You need it to do, and you can trust the look that comes out of it, and you're like good to go out the door. Number 13 says, what is a palette that I would redo or change? And it goes to, now this one I cannot open because this one gives me so much trouble. There's a shadow in here, and let me first show you what it is. The Clarity Cosmetics Safari palette. The blue shimmer shade in here, it busted. I repressed it, spent the time to do it. I laid it all out flat. It was good to go. I opened it up today, and it is busted again, and I'm like, what am I going to do with you? So it pissed me off, and I said, whatever. I'm not even going to fuss with that. And this palette also confuses me because of the color story in here. I get that the names are supposed to represent safari and animals and be cute and be fun and playful, but as a whole, it just doesn't make sense for me. There's not a lot of cohesiveness. There's a bright red, there's a pink, there's a blue in here, like there's a very like slate blue, so it's like, how can you create like a look out of this, or how can you create multiple looks out of this? Now I did, but it was a trouble. And our last question, 14, says, what is a palette that I would travel with? Now, when I travel, which is like never, but I put myself in a realistic situation. When I travel, my goal is to explore the area that I'm at, have fun with who I'm with, just take in the sights of anything and everything of the city or country or whatever that I'm in. So for me, colorful eyeshadow and doing something like this and spending an hour of my makeup, it's not going to be feasible on a vacation or traveling. I want something quick. I want something I know that'll create a look. So that's something very basic, easy, boring. I don't really care if it's monotonous. I don't care if I get tired of it, but at least I know that I'm able to get my makeup done, out the door, probably in 30 minutes. So I chose my Kara Beauty With You palette because it is compact. The color story in it is browns, everyday neutrals, nothing exciting, but that's basically what I probably would opt if I traveled, because I know that I could create a very easy, maybe one and done with the shimmers or with the mattes, or I just, kind of put this in the crease, kind of deepen up with that, call it a day, or just add this in my outer corner, just use this as liner. Like this would just suffice. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to be like, is this blue shade gonna match my outfit for the day? Like I open it up, put it on, it works, and I don't have to fuss with it. I don't have to be stressed about it because traveling is already stressful enough. And that is my version of the eyeshadow palette tag. Let me know, what answers would you choose, or what palettes would you choose for these questions? Are you going to do the tag, or are you don't do the tag and you just want to put in the comments? Anything and everything in the comments down below. I would love to chat with you guys, and as always, have an awesome rest of your day and or week, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye, guys.